What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, yeah, it's that time again, boys. It's 2021 ZX-10 season here in South Carolina. The ECU Flash has finally came out for these things, and people are going crazy wanting to get them tuned. People bought these bikes. Some people bought them over a year and a half ago in early 2021, and these things suck. They don't make any power. They got crazy limitations from the factory holding these things back. Everybody bought them super excited because the 2020 ZX-10 was a super, I guess you would say, badass bike. And they got the 2021 and they were kind of a little disappointed, honestly. The bike rides good, looks good, handles good, but the thing just has so much limitations in the factory ECU, it made it a disappointment to own, basically. Well, not anymore, boys. We're here to fix all that. We got the ECU Flash and stuff now finally available. We can do mail-in ECU flashes or dyno tunes on these things, and we're getting our ECU flashing database built up. Here today, we've got a SC1R 3/4 racing exhaust system. So this is 3/4. That means it goes from here to right there, and that is it. The factory header is still intact. So you saw in our other video where we tested the Brock's Performance exhaust, you saw where we tested the M4 slip-on. If you didn't, we'll drop a link here so you can go check those out. But we're gonna see how this SC Projects exhaust sounds and does today on this video. Stay with us, guys. Here we go. Cold start time on the 21 ZX-10. Let's see what this exhaust system sounds like. This bike has 6,000 miles on it. It's time to open it up. Overall sound pretty good. Pretty loud, but not crazy loud like the M4 and the Brock's. At least at idle. We haven't read it up yet. Pretty mellow exhaust system, not crazy loud at idle, which I personally like. Next thing is this bike does have a Sprint E08 air filter. You can check those out, brocksperformance.com. Use my discount code Mafia5 to get yourself a discount on one of those. That is the best air filter you can buy, guys. The F185 air. The Sprint F185 is actually the best one, but this is the P08 is probably the best one for street use. We're gonna warm this thing up in the baseline pull coming in 3, 2, 1. Here we go, it's tutorial time. Let's talk about how to get the ECU out of this thing if you want to get your ECU flash. First thing you're gonna do, take your key, stick it in there, remove the rear seat cowl. There's 4 screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to remove those. And then this piece here simply just pulls out. It's held in with rubber grommets. You'll just pull that out. You see the 2 tabs there. Once you get that out, you're going to then take and just kind of pull these little black pieces off. They're going to simply pop off. They are held in with rubber grommets also. Once you get that, then you're going to be able to access. You're gonna see the seat bolts down in there. For the front seat, maybe we can pull them back here a little bit. See, right in there, this area is your front seat bolts. I'm gonna set the camera down, I'm gonna get those removed and show you where the ECU's at. All right, we got the screws removed. What I ended up doing to get them out, you simply just fold the seat back, and then you can see right there is your empty holes. This whole bracket here then is loose. What holds the seat down. Once you get this bracket loose, just kind of gently, uh-oh, I heard the little things fall out. There's little, I guess you would say studs or brackets, not studs. What do you call these thingamajiggers that help hold the seat in place Don't lose those. I just lost these. We're gonna have to track those down with a magnet, but there's little things that just hold that, little dowel pins, I guess you would call them, that hold that in line. Don't lose those little gizmos. That'll help keep everything in place. Then you're gonna take and pop out these push pins here, remove these screws, and then this will pull back. There is the plug-ins for the ECU itself. In order to get it out, you'll have to remove this black plastic tray. All this stuff, all in all, takes about 10 minutes. Not crazy hard, but just a lot of little parts that you have to remove. Once you remove these parts and you get the ECU out, you'll want to continue to lift up the fuel tank. As soon as you lift up the fuel tank, you're going to want to find the wires to the factory O2 sensor, okay? The O2 sensor, go figure, I got the bike hot first. But the O2 sensor is right down, see the wire for it, right? Ouch, it's hot. Right in there, that is the wires for the factory O2 sensor. You see them? I'm gonna try to put my hands down there again. Right there, that's the wire for the factory O2 sensor. It runs up into here. You can see I can kind of pull this out with my fingers. But anyways, that wire right there goes right up here under the gas tank. You're gonna wanna unplug that, okay? The factory O2 sensor tells the bike to run lean. We are wanting to tell it not to run lean. So we're gonna unplug it, and then I'm gonna disable the factory O2 sensor in my flash. The O2 sensor itself in the exhaust pipe, you're gonna just leave there. It'll stay in the bike forever. It'll just stay unplugged. Finally found this little piece. Now I did learn a little trick. Do not take this bracket off. ECU removal tutorial, do not remove this. I didn't know, but this thing, the seat just pops off. You slide it to the side. Anyways, don't lose these. They fell down under the gas tank. I had to remove the whole gas tank to do that. But do not remove that bracket. We're gonna make a baseline pull, a couple of them actually, and we're gonna do something different on the channel. We're gonna do a horsepower race on the dyno. I've got the dyno set up to where it's gonna start and stop automatically at the same time every time. Now, we're gonna do this on the baseline pulls, and I've got it set up to start at 3,500 RPMs, and I've got it set up to stop at 13,000 RPMs. Now, we know the bike redline's a little higher than 13, but it doesn't redline at 14 like it's going to once we get finished with it. So to get ourselves fair comparison numbers, we're just gonna put the start and stop automatically at 3,500 and at 13,000. And then we're gonna see how much time it takes to go from 3,500 to 13,000. Then once we get done tuning it, we're gonna set up the same parameters, and we're gonna see how long it takes to go from 3,500 to 13,000 again with the unrestricted flashed ECU. Not only is it gonna make more horsepower, but we're gonna see how much quicker it runs through the gear. This should be a pretty cool test. Let's see how it goes. comments, you asked me what this is, what this air that I turn on and off. That is actually pulling vacuum on the O2 sensor. So this rod runs to the exhaust pipe, goes inside the exhaust, and then this air hose creates a vacuum and it sucks the fumes and gets us the fastest, most direct reading to our O2 sensor. So that way we get the quick response. All right, so we ended up with the best pull of 175.95 and 174 horsepower on the other two pulls. So we'll just delete the other two. We'll go with the best one, 175, which was our first pull. You can see our air fuel ratio does go pretty lean and stays pretty lean across the board, right around the 14.0, and then up top you can see it actually dips and goes rich. So let's look and see how long it took to do that. We're gonna go from engine speed, we're gonna go to time, and the time it took, you can see it started here at 0, and it took basically, let's see if we can put our mouse on it, 5 seconds exactly. So it took us exactly 5 seconds to get to 13,000 RPMs, but you can see we revved it a little farther than that, keeping it going, and we ended up with a factory red line of around 13,100-ish. And we made a whopping 140 horsepower at redline. Come on, Kawasaki, give us all our power. All right, time to flash this thing up. All right, so the ECU, as you can see, is in the early processes. It is flashing now. We were removing the restrictions from this thing and putting the map in from the previous M4 tuned exhaust slip-on I had. We'll see how close that gets us. This customer, he's a little unsure if he wants the popping on decel. He saw the flames in the last video. He thinks it's pretty cool, but he thinks it also might be pretty annoying. Which I'm like, you're probably right. After a while, it's a little much. So we're gonna turn it on to start with. We're gonna see how it sounds with this exhaust system. Then we're thinking maybe we turn it off. Maybe with the longer exhaust system, it's not as extreme. Who knows? We're about to find out in a second. Comment in the comments below. Let me know, are you that loud, obnoxious guy that wants all the pop-ins, that wants the flames? Or are you the subtle type that wants to sneak up on people and be crazy fast but not make tons of noise? Let me know, and then comment after that. Let me know, did you like the way it sounded better with the pops or without the pops on this exhaust? Flash is in. We've made a, I guess you say enough to get the tire back hot again. We're about to do a pull. Let me know, do you like the pops? Do you not like the pops? They sound pretty insane with this exhaust too. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys want the pops, whenever you send in your ECU, just let me know in the notes that you want the pops and flames. I cannot make every bike blow fire like this one, but these 21 and 22 ZX-10s, incredible sounding. Here we go, guys. Remember the automatic timer's on, or not the timer, but the automatic run counter. We're gonna see how fast this thing accelerates to the 13,000 RPM. We ended up with 189 horsepower
and we started with 175. Now keep in mind that's cutting it off at 13,000 RPM. Look at our horsepower curve at 13,000. It's still going straight uphill. In other words, no signs of stopping. And the air fuel ratio with this one is a little on the rich side. So it's getting a little too much fuel. So that tells me right there that this SC Projects exhaust is not flowing quite as much as the M4 exhaust. Look at how much power we gained in the mid-range though, just from the Flash. 5 horsepower there right off the rip. And at 13,000 RPMs, we went from 145 to 188, and we're not even close to finish yet. But let's look at the time. Let's put it in speed. And we went from 5 seconds to get to 140 horsepower to 4 point, I don't know, what do you want to call that? 4.35 maybe? To get to that. Look at, in the time, how much horsepower gain we got. There's 10 horsepower. So this is basically in 3 seconds, or let's just say 1.75 seconds, we automatically had basically 10 more horsepower there. So huge gains, pretty fun comparison. We'll get this thing, the air fuel ratio dialed in, we'll get it tweaked. The owner said no to the pops. He does not like them. He said it's way too much for him. We just wanted to turn it on to see how it sounds. So we're gonna turn that back off now, and then we'll see what we come up with. Air fuel ratio is getting dialed in. I've got the D-cell fuel cut option turned off. So in other words, we shouldn't get the pops and flames this time. Let me know. Do you like this sound better? Sounds way cleaner. Let's see what kind of power we get. I had to reroute the wire because the flames were trying to melt my wire on the bike. Tuning on this ZX-10, we ended up with 194 horsepower. Now you also see the 192 horsepower up there. That is from the M4 slip-on that we did the other day. You can see up here in the top end, the SC Projects exhaust beats out the M4. But you can see here at like 11,000 RPMs that the M4 beats out the SC Projects. So pretty interesting results. Keep in mind that the M4 had a stock air filter when it was dynoed. So maybe if we put the Sprint air filter in there, maybe that's where that extra horsepower comes from. The world may never know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. For all the subscribers to the channel, we got a special giveaway coming up. It's April 14th now. May 1st, we're starting a giveaway, guys. All you got to do is go in and buy a t-shirt to be entered into a chance to win. A t-shirt and a keychain get you eligible to win one of my very own GoPros. I got way too many GoPro 8s, so I'm gonna get rid of one of those. Totally free, no special price on the t-shirts. Just pick out any t-shirt you want, pick out any keychain you want. When you buy both, that automatically gets you eligible to win. We'll have more details coming up on that on the website, moremafia.com, come May 1st. As of now, if you want to send in your ECU to get it flashed, hit me up, moremafia.com, shoot it over to me. These guys come all the way from South Miami, Florida to be here and get a dyno tune with us. We appreciate them. Let's show you
the before and after first. Let me minimize this. Let me do a few little things here and pull his table back up. Here's his run number 1. With his final number, we had 194.43 and we started with 175. 80 foot-pounds of torque. And look at our gains. You can see how much higher we can rev the bike. We rev it all the way out to 14,300 RPMs. And here at 14,000, we're making crazy gains. But even when we cut this thing off at 13,000 before on the first pull, 145 to 91, and it's still headed downhill, guys. So if you rev it out to almost 14,000 RPMs, you saw in the last video, the bike picked up almost 100 horsepower. Humongous gains. It's a must-have. You gotta flash your ECU. I don't care what exhaust you got no choice, dude. If you got a 1000cc bike, you need a 1000cc bike. Hit us up, moremafia.com. Smash the like button, subscribe, click the bell. You know the drill. See you next time.